Hey guys, welcome to Jamie Ray Vintage. We go live every Wednesday morning at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. And we show you junk that we've gotten for free or next to it. And we turn it into home decor that we sell or use here in our house. And we bought this for $20 recently. And we are going to paint it up and make it look super cute. I'm just going to check with a few things here. We've been having some situations with Facebook this morning. Let's see if we can go live.
Situations. Jamie's personal account got hacked. They got into Jamie Ray Vintage through that, and they are now like changing all of our recovery.
So Zeb, can you log into Facebook here? So because it was attached to mine. Sorry guys, it's gonna take me just like.
Oh, we got to get into Facebook. We're not on Facebook.
Yeah, we're not on Facebook right now. My personal Facebook account was hacked, but so much so that it's like gone, like completely gone. There's no picture. If you search Jamie Harrington Ray, nothing pops up. I think it's because when the hackers were attacking it last night, like I kept getting these notifications from all over the world. Did you log in here? Did you log in here? Facebook shut my account down because of that. Somehow they were able to get back in, and they changed my email and my backup email and my phone number. And so we're working with a Facebook expert to help get logged in. And so Zeb and Caitlin still have access to Facebook, but not as admins. And so I don't. So Zeb's going to try to reconnect through his account because originally we were through my account. So you'll have to bear with us. While he's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So that way you guys have something to look at besides me losing my, you know what, because my Facebook account isn't working. This we want to use as a mantle in our shop. We picked it up at Euro Treasures Antiques. In fact, I just did a little like short reel video on it. And it was only $20. It's beautiful. It looks like it's probably the top. What do you think? This was like the top of like a armoire zip?
Yeah, maybe. Or it might have been like a small hutch or something like that.
And it has 2 holes back here. I haven't decided how I'm going to fix that, but I'm just going to go ahead and get started painting. And so I want to use sandy blonde. I love this dark color that's underneath here. And so we're just going to go ahead and layer on our first coat, and then we'll try to add some milk paint. So other than my Facebook account getting hacked, everything else is going pretty good. The shop has been like super busy, which is good. And everybody is loving the new decoupage papers. We've gotten a ton of orders for that.
All right. So it looks like we're just on YouTube. It's not letting me.
Okay. So it's not letting us on StreamYard. Well, that's all right. We'll just be friends with the YouTube people. Can you just stipple this on there, and I will pick out the milk paint color, and then I'll respond to comments in just a minute.
All right. So you're just stippling, right? We're not brushing. We want a little texture from the clay paint.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So I'm just going to cover this. So we talked about doing like free or next to it. And I feel like this is next to it. This is made out of oak. These are all hand turned here. That would probably take me, there's 12 of them on here. It would probably take me half a day to turn these fine little spindles, and then these little honeycomb toppers here. And to put this together and build this is probably a solid couple days worth of work. And it's got like old school joinery and things. So I'm going to count the $20 we spent on this as next to free.
I wouldn't, you guys, sorry, I'm losing my voice. I wouldn't try to mess with joining on our Facebook account, but Caitlin, would you mind taking the YouTube link and sharing it in the Jamie Ray Vintage Facebook group? So that way, if people on Facebook have been waiting for the live, at least we could get in touch with them that way.
You can actually post on.
Yeah, and if you can post on the Jamie Ray Vintage page, if we'll let you do that, just post the YouTube link. Hey, we're live, just so that way people know. But luckily, we were able to. We're working with a Facebook guru. We completely separated our group from the Jamie Ray Vintage page, so we have full access to that. So at least there's that situation. Anyways, all right. So Zeb is getting the sandy blonde on there. And I think the next coat that I want to layer on here is either juniper or what was new color number 1? What did they name that? My brain is fluffy right now.
Oh, that's a good question.
That is a good one. Thank you. Caitlin, for sharing it to the group. I can only answer messages. Okay, so it's not letting her post on that. Yeah, just share it in the group so that way some of the people will know what's up. All right. So new color number 1. Does anybody remember what Sweet Pickens' first new color was named when they named it? Because my bag is the bag I got before she named it.
This is our original sample bag.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think. There's juniper, and obviously my brain is completely fried this morning. There was gumdrop, birdie. It's birdie.
Birdie.
Thank you, Denise. She got it the same second that I did. Perfect. All right. So we're going to use birdie and juniper. I'm going to go ahead and get a cup so I can get those mixed up while you're stippling. Do you need to grab a heat gun too?
Yeah, we'll probably need to dry this out before we put that on there. How much texture are you wanting? Should I leave this on here pretty thick, or you just want a little stippling action?
Stippling action is fine.
So this is going, I don't know if Jamie mentioned it. We have at the shop up on the stage, there's an old fireplace up there that I covered up so that the chimney didn't leak air down and water and all that down into the actual shop because there's no more fireplace down there. The fireplace got completely removed and pulled out of there. But we still like to put a mantle over where it was because it's still got the hearth on the bottom, the brick hearth down below, and it looks really cool. But we sold the mantle that we had up there, and the old mantle didn't really quite fit. It was a little wider than it needed to be. So that's what we're painting this for, and we're going to put that up there. I don't think this one's going to be for sale unless we find something down the road that we love more. And then at that point in time, we'll redo the new one, and this one will be available.
Everything for sale for the right price. Let's be honest. I wasn't planning on selling the last one, and then somebody's like, hey, I'll buy it. All right, I'm going to drop the link to Sandy Blonde here in the comments. Because Caitlin is working on sharing stuff out on her end. Tag team today. All right. So I'm going to mix up birdie here, warm water. See how thick it gets. And then I might add a little bit of juniper. At true Waste Not Wednesday fashion, I am using leftover paint, like whatever's left over from projects, because that's just how we roll. I do want to say, guys, something to be super, super helpful. If you have not already done so, would you go to our website and sign up for our email? Because that, no matter what, and this is really good information for you guys if you have your own business account. We don't own
Facebook.
We don't own Facebook. We don't own YouTube. We don't own Instagram, TikTok, or Pinterest. We own none of that. We are at their mercy. But you know what we do own? We own our website. We own our email list and our text list. So should everything crumble to pieces, we would still be able to access the people that are interested in our information via email. So if you have not gone to jamierayvintage.com and signed up for our email, please do so. And also make sure that it's that you add our email in there so you get it, doesn't go to junk or whatever, because we actually send out emails every week. And if something happens and we have to set up a new Facebook page or whatever, we will send all that information out via email and also via text. So thank you, Caitlin. She dropped the link to email and to text. So if you guys have not done that, that'd be super helpful. We promise not to spam you. We only typically will send one or a few texts a week and then an email a week. It may be more now that we're having to notify people of things that way because Facebook's being dumb, but we do our best. All right, I'm adding a little juniper to the birdie because it wasn't quite the thickness that I wanted. And I don't have any more birdie because I used the last little bit. And
so it's going to be hard to see on camera until we start adding other layers. But this is going to, instead of being, think of it as brush strokes. Instead of being nice, smooth brush strokes that you might see on here, it's going to just have this stippled texture from the end of the bristles.
All right. And you guys can still share this live on Facebook just by copying the link. That helps. All right, now I've made it too watery. I feel like that's how my morning's going. Up until 10 minutes ago, I hadn't brushed my hair. I wasn't wearing a bra. I was talking to our Facebook guru, and I'm like, well, I'm going to go put my face on and go live. The show must go on. Thank you. Sarah from Ambers and Unique signed up with her personal email and also her business email too. you know, right before we went live, we said a quick little prayer. We're like, let us get it back if we can get it back. But if that's not your plan for us, then just let us be okay with it, whatever it is. And I feel like you always have to do your due diligence and do everything you can to recover things. But then there comes a point when you also have to accept whatever happens.
Well, and
all right, I've got this mixed up here, so I'm going to heat gun that so I can get
started. We've got great people that come and hang out with us on these lives and like to craft and do things, and they'll come find us wherever. If we got to start a new page, it stinks because that one was at almost 140,000 people.
You know what I'm most sad about is my personal page and all the videos.
Oh, Jimmy has a ton of like family videos and pictures of the kids and stuff that have been saved. And we have back to like 2015 on the phone, but
like I just shared one of Odelia's performances when she was 9 years old yesterday on my personal page. And I had actually looked on my phone to see if I still had that video, and it wasn't there. Like the only place that exists is on the phone.
On Facebook.
Or you remember, or on Facebook, remember the little video of Redrick wearing Harrington's boots and walking around?
Yeah.
It's cute. My favorite thing, like with old videos, is to hear the little kids' voices. Like, they change so much as they get older. And it's funny, we were listening to a video the other day.
Oh, you can smell that with the heat gun. It's making it smell, that you can smell the old wood.
No one wants to smell old wood.
No, I think I like the way it smells. I think it's...
Let's stop talking about old wood. Anyways.
Stop it.
What was I saying before that? I heard a video of Harrington, and it sounded just like how Redrick's voice sounds.
Well, we were watching Odelia. It was Odelia dancing on stage, and you could hear Harrington. He's like, "Look at them; they're all the same height." He's like, "That's kind of funny." And I'm like, "That sounds exactly like Redrick." Because Harrington would have been, Odelia was what, like 8 or 9? So Harrington would have been like,
not quite 2.
Harrington would have been 12, and Redrick's almost 12 right now.
So my only hope is that Facebook realized what was going on and they shut my account down. If I can actually get a human over there, then we can recover it.
Good luck.
But that's not really. It's ironically, I just got my Instagram account verified, and it like keeps you from being hacked. And I had messaged them last week and said, I'd really like to get my business page verified so I can keep from getting hacked. They're like, sorry, we don't do that. I'm like, are you kidding me? Zeb, can you finish the top so that I can heat gun that?
Yes.
So I'm just going right over the DIY paint with this milk paint. I didn't add any bond to it. So we're going to see what happens. I'm going to try really hard not to heat gun this because typically when you heat gun milk paint, especially with no bond, just all chips off. So I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to do like a nice thin coat. So hopefully it dries fairly fast. So we don't have to heat gun it. All right. I'm going to work on.
So Vicky asked if I can go to your personal page and like download things. Like it's not, you can't even find it. You can like her profile picture's gone. It'll search, if you search it, it shows like groups she's posted in, but you can't even find those posts.
So a lot of times people's accounts get hacked very simply in that they give out their personal information to somebody thinking it's Facebook. That's probably the most common way. That's not how this happened because I have 2-factor authentication. I never give out my password to anybody. So whoever did it was like super, super smart. And I kept trying to block them last night. It was torturous. Like I could see them trying to hack my account. I was doing all the things that Facebook tells you to do to secure your account. I even drove to Caitlin's house because she's logged in on my Facebook account. And I sent my ID to Facebook. Like, this is me. I'm proving that it's me because I never used Zeb's computer. So it wouldn't let me verify on his computer and my phone wasn't working. So I had to do it at her house. So all the things that you're supposed to do. But the other thing that's happening is we're about a week out from Meta taking over and merging the Creator Studio and the Business Suite. And so I think there's just a lot of crazy things going on right now. And so it's the perfect storm of hot mess. And I think that the hackers probably use this while things are a little bit low because does anybody ever watch Star Trek? So on Star Trek, to do certain things, they have to lower the shields. You can't send somebody from the ship to the, what's that called?
The transporter.
The transporter doesn't work when the shields are up. And so I think this is just Jamie Ray thinking here that since they are rebuilding things, that they have to bring their shields down to like move things, and the hackers are taking that opportunity to then come in and take advantage of them, just like the Romulans. So if you're watching me, you stop being Romulans, hackers. Kwang Do and Alejandra Velasco, I'm watching you. That's the people that we found on the Facebook group and kicked out. So anyways, there's my story. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm going to get back to painting. I'm going to slowly heat gun and work my way across. Look, I said across instead of across.
You're so good.
I know. Trying to use proper English here. Maybe I should use bad English.
Vicky said, "Good thing it's almost vacation time for us."
I'm like,
Jamie's
really.
we're gonna be driving. Jamie's gonna be building a whole new Facebook page.
I have already set up a backup Facebook page because what we're trying to do is give me access through that, because I know like Julie from Signs and Designs, she got hacked and she was able to use her husband's account to get back in, but they like went deep.
Yeah, these guys have already changed all her backup information somehow. Anyway, painting the mantle. That's what we're doing here today now.
And if you want to buy these painted products, visit JamieRayVintage.com and please tell your friends. Shameless plug there. Shameless plug. All right. So let's see. It's Wednesday. What do we have to do? So we are finishing up editing our next video. That I'm guessing what we might do, because I have locked down my Instagram account, is we might attach that to StreamYard. And if you can, and then we could go live on Instagram instead of Facebook just to reach more people, or just use a different device. But anyways, I'm redoing a really cool frame. If you guys saw my stories yesterday.
You didn't dry this all the way across?
No, I only dried it as far as I'm painting.
Okay.
I did a story yesterday to show you the frame, and I'm going to do a layered paint technique. So I got that first coat done before the hacking started, and I'm hoping to get that video finished, and we will schedule that to be uploaded Friday. So definitely set your alarms. We'll have a new video up Friday, and we will also pre-record our thrift haul. It may only be on YouTube, and that's just the way life is.
That's the way it was for years.
And you know what? YouTube is my OG. We actually have a person on YouTube that we could talk to, whereas we don't have that on Facebook. So sometimes you just gotta go back to your roots, right? It's the way it is. And luckily, YouTube has been a little bit better recently. For a while, they weren't really showing our videos out, and now they are. So that's always appreciated on the YouTube world. One thing I do know for sure is that it's not just happening to us. Like, it's happening to tons of creators. And so Facebook is aware, and they are going to be working on things. I also am thinking that YouTube will get word of this, and they will make sure that their stuff is like beefed up. Oh, is my mic not on?
No, your mic's on. Maybe it's muted.
Can they
finally hear you now that I'm over here? I didn't hear anyone say anything. No, you're not muted.
Can you hear me?
It's on. It's
All
on.
right.
You're on.
Can you hear me now? Let me know, Caitlin. Okay. Maybe it's just where it's located. Can you hear me? Who is Julie? Julie from Julie's Signs and Designs, Julie Bourne. She's a friend of ours. It sounded muffled before, but now it's clear. Okay, I just moved it. Maybe it was just rubbing up against my neck. Maybe my mic is picking up the frustration. I can't even say the word.
Oh, I got some leaves.
This is looking pretty good. I'm hoping that this front part dries quick so we can get to wet distressing.
Well, you know, if you heat gun that milk paint without bond, we're going to get a ton of chicken.
That's why I'm not heat gunning that. I'm heat gunning the DIY paint.
Okay.
And hoping that you just dry on your own milk paint. We could get a fan out here and fan it off. So the next step would be to distress the milk paint, and then we're going to probably add some clear and dark wax. What do you think?
Yeah.
I want to make it look kind of grungy. It's taking Zeb longer to paint this because he's stippling it.
Yeah, if you're just brushing, it's faster.
You can, like, you don't always have to add salt wash to get texture. You could just do stippling, which is the motion he's doing right now, and it will add texture. I like to call it baby textures, like littlest tiny little texture.
But it still shows up when you start putting your layers on and you're waxing.
Yeah. I did it on a cute little, if you guys saw when I was at Debbie's and I did that video, I showed a little side table and it was painted white with stipple, and then I painted over top of it and distressed. This is the technique that I did. The only difference with that is I did not use milk paint, but I used DIY paint over the stippling. Do you have any comments, questions?
Alley Cats just said she missed what's happening while she was feeding her cats. Yeah, our Facebook page got hacked. Jamie's personal page actually got hacked. That's where it started, her personal profile. And then once they had that, since Jamie was the admin of everything else on Jamie Ray Vintage, they went and changed all the things there too.
We have though, like, changed our like Shopify. We changed Instagram. I changed the password on the email that they hacked, so that way they don't have access to that email anymore. So we've been doing some. It's just like a lot of work, and we're honestly because we're going out of town.
I honestly feel like passwords aren't even like really that great anyway. Like you got to have the 2-factor authentication, and then they've got to be monitoring it on their end and shut down IP addresses.
I need them to like retina scan me. Like I promise you, I'm Jamie Ray. Nobody else is crazy enough to be me. And I don't know why you want to steal my Facebook account, because my people aren't going to watch the weird videos you post. Because typically what happens if they gain access, they like shut you out and then they post stupid videos. So if you start seeing stupid videos, just don't watch them. Don't give these people money. If you see cool videos like us, then you can start watching again. All right. I'm just going to keep heat gunning this so that way I can come across and keep painting it.
Oh, Caitlin thinks the computer mic is what's being picked up.
What?
Yeah, there you go. Sorry, now you can hear us real good.
What was going on?
The laptop mic had taken over. I got to switch to the other mics now.
Oh my gosh, if you're still watching after all that, like, bless you.
Thanks for hanging out with us today, guys. It's the silent video. Do you want me to heat gun so you can keep... Actually, we have 2 heat guns. I'll go grab the other one.
Do we have another heat gun?
Yeah,
I grabbed that other one from the shop.
We have them both here right now. Like, there's still dishes in the sink. I think I forgot to take my thyroid. I'm going to have to go count my pills.
I did take my thyroid meds. I'm thinking what we might do today, if we can go ahead and pre-record the thrift haul for Saturday, we might do the shop tour today just on YouTube. So that way we don't have to like try to upload it and pre-record it.
Yeah.
So that way we could just like check that off our list, do the shop tour. If we do happen to get our Facebook page back, we can just upload it to there. If not, we'll figure it out, whatever.
Well, we're going to start putting all the videos on the Jamie Ray Vintage group, so watch for them there.
Yeah.
Because there's 21,000 people on there that want to watch videos. So we have,
and people
we have
could...
that.
Yeah, if people like, so if you have followed us on Facebook before and you haven't joined the Jamie Ray Vintage group, go ahead and do that, because we do have access to that, and we did block them out and ban them from that. So we could hear you. Just sounded like you were down an echoey hall. That's not good. You could probably hear me because I'm loud, and so the computer can pick me up no matter where I go. It's a blessing and a curse.
Gloria Healy, I need a Mr. bottle. Do you still sell those? Yes.
Yes. So we have the turquoise iris.
They're called the Water Girl.
Water Girls. Caitlin, if you have a second, would you mind dropping a link to that? Thank you. She's already on top of it.
Lisa says we're stuck with her.
We're stuck. all my like diehards are already getting my texts, getting my emails, visiting the website. We have a Jamie Ray Vintage app. So
the people that have seen Jack grow up since he was like a year old when we first started putting videos up, and now he's almost 9.
And we now have the Jamie and Zeb Homestead channel. So if you guys have not subscribed to that, be sure to subscribe to that, unless you're not interested in like animals and bread baking.
The gardening should be good though. I was hoping to be gardening by now and like starting the cold weather stuff like lettuce and peas and cabbage. And it's still like getting down in the 20s at night. So we've got starts in the basement. We did a little video on that.
Did you water those?
No, they're still wet.
Okay.
I soaked them pretty good to get
I'm
them
actually
going.
super excited for gardening season. I'm hoping that when we get back from Arizona, that we have some warm days and we can get out there and start tilling. We need to test the soil. I'm worried that it might be too like potent or whatever. What's
Too strong, too
too
hot.
strong or too hot?
Yeah.
That's the word.
Do you want me to help you paint?
It.
Did we get everywhere dry? Did you get
Um,
underneath here?
I'm missing that little corner. Do you want to dry that little corner?
Yeah.
And I will start. Just make sure that when you're putting it on that you're doing it nice and thin, because we do not have time to wait for thick paint to dry.
So we have been loving the sandy blonde.
Sandy blonde is so good. We're coming out with a similar color for our cottage color line, but it's richer and it's made to look like crockery. And I don't know if you guys know this, but fun fact, sandy blonde is named after Debbie's mom, who passed away from cancer, because her mom was a sandy blonde. So I always think of Debbie's cute mom every time I paint with this.
Hey,
and
Rex.
I like sandy blonde quite a bit. People ask me if I like sandy blonde better than faded burlap. I only use faded burlap if I want like a bluish undertone.
I was going to say, here's the thing. Faded burlap can look like gray or purple. This is definitely a warmer, like taupey cream color.
Yeah, has brown undertones. If anything, it pulls slightly yellow, but it's not yellowy. But I'm just saying, like, that's the area in the color wheel that it lives. Whereas faded burlap is more in the blue part.
All right, thin coats. I got to remind myself, thin coats.
So there is a quick dry for paint. There is an additive that many companies do put in their paint, but it's a chemical. It's not all natural. So if there's any paint that like says that they have a quick dry, and I'm not going to mention names, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's not natural. And so that's why we don't use it. And that's why these paints take a little bit longer to dry. The other thing about quick drying is that it doesn't give you time to manipulate it. Like, it's kind of a pain on a live video, but really you don't want that in your paint, because if you're like doing artisan type finishes, you want to be able to have access to manipulate your paint as much and as long as possible. So it's okay that it doesn't have that.
Well, and all these paints, even the milk paint, is water soluble. Like if you get milk paint wet, it's just going to keep crackling and chipping
until you seal it.
Yep. So once it's sealed, then it's no longer porous, right? But until then, you can still keep working on your finish, changing things, and just going crazy with it.
How are things with the new brushes? We are getting the new brushes delivered today. So if you pre-ordered from us, they will be shipping out. It will take a few days because we have hundreds of orders for them, but we will be focusing on getting those pre-orders out. And they are amazing. A couple of things to note about the new brushes. They are specifically designed for DIY paint. So if you are using it with cottage color or a top coat, you're going to want to wash your brush right away. Do not let it dry on your brush, because the bristles are super soft. So they make working with the clay paint awesome. And they make blending awesome. They make it so you don't overwork the paint, all of those things for DIY paint. And you can use them with their paints, but you need to wash them right away, because they're the bristles are so special and so soft that they just don't hold up to anything with a top coat in it. If you let it dry, it's not going to be good. So we are trying to get the word out on that so people know it. I know Debbie's coming up with a document. We were actually the ones to discover it, because
Debbie gave us those
brushes them early,
when we
and
went.
then we wrecked those brushes. We tried them with everything, so we knew what to tell you.
Well, and we noticed right away with the top coats, we're like, oh,
this is not releasing.
Because it's like so soft, like you brush it and literally feels like a brand new baby kitten that you're holding in your hand. It's ridiculous.
They're amazing.
If you've never held a brand new baby kitten, get yourself down to a pet store now and try it.
Or, your local animal shelter, because we buy rescues here. Don't buy, what's the saying? Like, don't.
I don't know.
I don't
know if there's a saying.
Our Cody and Rex are rescues. You know what? This is starting to get thick on the bottom.
Yep.
What is the difference in DIY brushes and Kling-On? So Kling-Ons would be stiffer than the DIY brushes. The reason why the DIY brushes are so special is you've ever had a struggle blending, or if you've ever put a coat of DIY paint on, then you put the second coat and it peels it off. Do you want a separate cup, Seb?
No, I'll just keep working around.
Okay. And you've ever put a second coat on and pulled up that first coat, it's because, can you fix the camera?
Yeah.
It's because the bristles are really stiff. So these brushes have been designed to help with that.
Yeah, so the DIY brushes are specifically designed for the DIY paint. They do work on all the other things. We've been using them. They're great. Just know cleaning them is very important. Like when Jamie says don't let it dry, like as soon as you're done brushing your top coat on, go rinse that brush out.
Yeah, go wash it with soap and water and get that top coat out. Because it sets up and it
which
just
is fine.
Release.
You got to wash it anyway, right?
Yeah, you just need to wash it.
Just go wash it right away.
Zeb and I are really good at breaking things and figuring out how to make them work. Case in point, I broke my Facebook page. Part of me thinks like legit thinks that Facebook just locked it down because they realized what was happening. And they're like, hold on, Jamie, give us a minute and we'll figure it out. And I'm over here like, whoa!
Like you can't figure it out fast enough. It's almost...
I'm like, they know we exist. Facebook has paid us. They have sent us a 1099. I'm like, get with your accounting department. Like, you know who we are. It's not a secret. We have a relationship. Okay. All right, let's see if there's any questions. Oh, don't shop, adopt. I knew there was a saying for that. All right, I'm going to go back because we're waiting for things to dry and just make sure that everybody's being taken care of. I think it was mostly just my mic for a really long time.
Yeah. Well, like 20 minutes.
Okay.
How good a coverage do you want on here? Are we coming back with other colors? What's going to be the story on this?
So my plan is when it dries, maybe just like heat gun it a little bit, like just a little baby, just like a little baby heat gun.
Every time I heat gun it on a live stream, we come back tomorrow and it's all falling off.
Like just like blow dry it from afar.
Oh, from way out? Maybe that would work.
I just want to send some wind that way. So my thought is we can distress it and then do some clear and dark wax.
That's not far enough.
That's not far enough?
Farther.
Farther? How about farther?
You don't want to like...
I just want to give it like a warm, sunny day. This already looks so much better. I think this is going to be way cute. People are going to try to buy it and I'm going to be like, nope.
Well, it's up. It's going to go up on against. This is why we paint all our walls white, because we can have fun colored painted furniture when you have a white backdrop and it just all goes together really well. So this is going, the brick is painted white and it's going to go up against that white brick. And then we've got gray on the floor with the gray skies because we painted the whole stage in gray skies with the cottage colors. And it's actually holding up really well. It's been since what, September-ish that we painted that?
Yeah, we painted it all raw wood. And Debbie's going to paint her floor in her new booth space with
it survived the winter. We've had one of the wettest winters we have ever had in recorded history here in Utah. Tons of snow, tons of ice melt out on the walks and stuff. And those painted floors are holding strong.
All right, so we're almost dry here. Loose on the front.
Okay, I'm gonna try your heat gun method.
In case you're just tuning in, we mixed juniper and birdie about 50-50 to get this color. And you can pick up these products at jamierayvintage.com.
So Susan says she's on a break from lunch, and this is looking great.
Thank you. So do we want to wet distress it, Zeb, or do you want to just sand it? What do you think?
Are you dry enough that you can wet distress it?
Yeah, it's dry. It's like dark in spots.
I worry if you wet distress it, it's just going to let loose because we didn't put any bond in it.
It's gonna
so
be
extra bond that I keep talking about is an additive for milk paint that will help it not chip as much. That's the idea. The farmhouse finishes that we carry has the bond built in if you don't want to do that extra step.
All right, so I'm just lightly sanding it, and we're bringing back the sandy blonde. We're bringing back the dark color from underneath. And just like the DIY paint, when you sand the milk paint, it's going to get nice and smooth because it's not got like additives in it that make it plasticky. a lot of your chalk paints have things that'll make it kind of plasticky. And both DIY paint and Sweet Pickens milk paint are original artisan finishes. Milk paint and clay-based paint have been around for a long time.
So Shelly Ross has a great question. What did you seal the floor with? That's impressive. It held up into the super wet winter. So the cottage color paint, the gray skies, all of those colors have a built-in sealer. It's a single step paint. So we didn't do anything. It's just painted on there. I don't even know if we did 2 coats. We just did 1 coat coverage and touched up a couple spots that had like some peekaboos because the floor was imperfect, and done. We did sand the floor though. So it was on raw wood, which I think helped quite a bit. It wasn't on top of like another non-porous sealer.
Yeah, we didn't prime it. We didn't seal it. It was just sanded. And when I realized that the floor was beyond saving, I just painted the gray skies on it because I was like, I can't fix this. I spent more time sanding the stage than I did the entire rest of the original floors in the shop. And so we just decided to put a coat on there, and I did 1 thick coat of gray skies and then a little bit of touch up, but that's all we did. And it's held up well.
Kim says she's not stalking or lurking. She's painting and watching, so she can't comment.
Oh, you're getting your stuff done. It's okay. You can lurk.
Rashonda said, we're very close to 200K on YouTube. Will we have a celebration for the milestone? We may, because it's been a long time coming. We've been doing YouTube consistently every week and for 7 years, almost 8 years. It'll be 8 years in August since we put our first video up.
So I am going to wet distress.
Jimmy.
I just going to wet distress right here. So if we lose the paint, it's not going to be the end of the world. Because I think where the problem is when we heat gun it. Wet distressing can reactivate the milk paint. So we're just going to let it air dry after I wet distress it. Because I really want more of that sandy blonde to come in. And I will bring Zeb up here so that way he can show you what this is looking like. Because I really feel like that will help.
All right. I'm just looking through comments, seeing what I missed because I looked away for a hot minute. This color mix is looking good. Yeah, this is the new birdie color, right?
Birdie mixed with juniper.
Oh, mixed with juniper.
Yeah, I just used the leftover paint from the 2 bags when we first got it. Because I had done some projects. Don't throw out your milk paint. Like, you have a little this, a little that. The powder will pretty much keep forever until it's mixed. And you can make your own colors. And even the DIY paint, if your DIY paint gets like dried up in the bottom of your container, put water in it, let it sit overnight, and then.
Uh-oh. I was looking away and I did too much of this in the same spot.
Look what you did.
We got crackled. Let me show you. So this is what happens if you let it dry naturally.
You were worried about me, and then look what you did. All right. He's going to show you the front where I wet distressed it, and then we'll show you the chippy happening over here.
I'm going to zoom in, and then I'll see if I can move it around to show you the chippiness. All right. So let's see what's happening on here. Come on, focus camera. Work with me.
Thank you, Becky. She says, I love this mantle that you guys are working on. It's way cute. Maybe zoom in and then tap the screen.
It doesn't want to. The lighting's all...
The universe is real.
I'm going to go slow. You stop moving in the background. Okay. I'm going to go slow. It's trying to focus on your arm.
Okay, I'm going to get out of the picture.
Okay. No, it's not going to work. It's not going to do it.
Okay, there. You got it.
I think that's about as close as we can get. I'm going to zoom in.
No, that's good. I think they're really seeing the texture there. And as it dries more, the milk paint will crackle on its own. Like it does its own thing. Like you can't control it. People are like, well, how do you get it to crackle the way you want it? Like if you're going to use milk paint, you have got to give up control. Like you can't force it to do everything you want. So it's hard for people. Like Zeb accidentally got some chipping here, which I don't hate.
Well, but I'm worried it'll chipping more. Yeah, I'm going to try to lift this.
Just lift it from underneath.
Yep.
Well, let me pull here we go.
So I don't know if
they can totally see that.
So you can see the crackle. This is going to happen if I had let it dry naturally. It would have crackled in that spot, most likely, because there's probably something under the wood. It got oiled or something happened. I think this is going to be really cool to set stuff on. We'll probably do like some fun displays on that back wall up on the stage. We'll have to show you guys. We'll have to do a video
So
of
somebody
us
says
putting it
they
up.
think, so do you want to go ahead and get the clear wax out and we'll clear wax and dark wax this? This part's dry.
Okay. They
So we
think
can work
what?
on that while the rest of us, at least give them the idea of where we're going. And then I'm going to do some touch-up paint while you do that.
You didn't finish your sentence though. Oh, we don't have any clear
Oh,
wax here.
we don't have any clear wax?
I completely used that. Remember I told you I scooped the lip?
Well, you can use, it's not super chippy, so why don't you try using the final finish top coat? We'll let that dry and then we could wax that. It dries pretty quickly.
Wait, I've got a whole nother can here that says clear on it.
It's a clear wax miracle. What I was going to say is somebody said these are for lights.
I went through
there were lights up here.
Oh yeah, I went through the wax bin and found a clear.
I'm so glad I recently organized that. My paint is not too bad right now. My decoupage paper stencil and IOD, it looks like a toddler went through there. Only the toddler was me. It's so bad. And Zeb. Because Zeb likes to think he's super organized, but truth be told, he's not that organized all the time. We're both, feel like that's why we work. If you were super organized, I don't think that we would get along because
like I'm medium organized and
it's like I'm like organized sometimes.
And you're medium goal oriented, so it works.
Yeah, but like if you were super organized, I would drive you nuts. Like I don't mean to drive people crazy. So I'm wondering, Zeb, should I go ahead and just paint milk paint underneath here because people will be able to see that?
All right, so I'm just doing the front where you've got it dry and where you've done some distressing. I don't want to wax more than that.
All right. Clear wax miracle. Caitlin said Ivy could bring us some. It's okay. I'm going to go ahead and paint underneath here, remove any dead spiders that
we got to keep Ivy shipping.
So how old do you think this is? It's got...
Let me look.
I would say like early 1900s, but not 1800s.
So the joinery on here, back here, is not done by a router or machine. This is hand cut.
Okay.
Joinery. They did this with a hand plane, most likely. They do have a couple slotted screws in the top, but those, to be honest, may have been added later.
That does happen. Like just because there's modern screws doesn't mean they were always there.
I would say this is probably late 1800s because the turning here is really crisp and sharp. So they had good tools.
And just in case you're wondering, we did not just like pull this off of a priceless antique piece. We bought just this piece at Euro Treasures for $20.
It was stuffed in the back, upside down, twisted under a bunch of things. Jamie saw it over there and we pulled it out and then it had like a sale $20 price tag on it. Normally at Euro Treasures, they have amazing things, but
thousands of dollars.
But you're paying for the stuff that they've brought back from Europe.
Yeah, I spied with my little eye back in the discount section. That's how
normally this would probably be like $200 from them.
This is how I shop. If I walk into any store that's not a thrift store, because that's different, I look for signs that are red and I look in the way back for the clearance section. I have shopped that way my entire life. My mom was not a thrifter, but she was a discount clearance shopper. And so that's where I get my love of a good deal or bargain. So I'm pretty good at like not
well, your
stuff.
Mom, even when your dad was making quite a good income building houses in California, she still couldn't shake the fact that she grew up during the tail end of the Great Depression.
Well, she kind of bought way more than she needed though.
Yeah,
as a kid,
she resource hoarded like the dogs do with the socks.
Yes. So as a kid, like I would want like just one pair of name brand shoes, not like name brand as in they're crap, but they're overcharging, but like name brand is in like really quality type shoes. And my mom would be like, I'm not paying that much for shoes. But then she'd buy me 10 pairs of clearance shoes.
Uh-huh.
So I'm trying to like retrain my brain that way and like not be so much of a clearance shopper that I buy stuff that I don't need. And I feel like that has helped. Like I used to go to Target and shop the end caps. I don't do that anymore.
Well, I have always been, I will spend $150 on shoes that don't hurt my feet versus, because I remember one time right out of high school, I was working construction down in Tucson for a summer. And I went down and got some super cheap $20 steel toe boots. And those hammered my toes and my feet. Every day after I got done working, I was like exhausted because my feet were worn out. And I was like, you know what? Never again. It's not worth it.
If you guys love clearances and sales too on quality merchandise, just a little like pro tip here. I'm going to drop a link while I'm on here. We have a sale collection. So if I get a really good deal on something or I'm just clearing something out, I put it in my sale collection. So I'll drop that link here. So that way you guys have that. And we update that weekly. And some of it, yeah, it's stuff we're clearing out, but some of it is new items. It's just, I've been really good at clearance shopping, so I'm passing the discount along because you can clearance shop wholesale.
So not to sidetrack you from your
Okay.
shopping habits talk.
Sidetrack away.
What if we go, I don't know if you guys would be interested in another live stream this afternoon, but I got to go over.
Did you do that?
I don't think so. I think that's old. That's from setting it in there a while ago.
Look at that. It's a hole that wasn't meant to be there. Can you guys see that?
So I got to go get the sump pump in the basement at the shop before we go to Arizona because we're supposed to get tons of rain and that basement always floods and we don't, that's where we keep the paper right currently. You know, we're super smart kids. We put paper in a wet basement.
Wow.
It's where we had the space to put it. And it's mostly up off the floor on shelves, so it's not a big deal. But I got to get the sump pump in there and then maybe we can go live with them and hang this mantle and show them a couple little things. I was going to
do a shop video.
Yeah, we can do a couple little things at the shop. So that way, all in one day, since we won't be here tomorrow, Friday, or Saturday, we can show you what this is going to look like.
Did you already clear wax this?
But we'll wait. It'll be like later this afternoon so that there's enough time in between the videos.
Well, we need to also make sure that we get our thrift haul pre-recorded. That's like top priority. We've done 200 thrift hauls. We can't not do that. So we got to get that pre-recorded. And then
that may be going live on the we might be scheduling that on the Jamie Ray Vintage group.
Yeah, instead of our page, but we'll also do it on YouTube. Okay, so
spread the word. That's if you guys want to help. The biggest thing you can do is help support the pages that we have going and share those out. Like the Jamie Ray Vintage group is still ours, and we control that. And then also the YouTube channel is still good, and Instagram.
All right, so I'm coming back in with dark wax. I had to look at the can. It's hard to tell the difference between dark and black. Dark is brown. I'm going to get a dry. Do we have a dry towel? I don't want to use this wet one.
Not down here, probably upstairs. Oh, you got lucky.
No, I loaded it last night in prep for this live. And all the craziness that went on last night, I remember this. So I'm going back over this with dark wax where I've already clear waxed it. And that's going to give me some control here. And it's also going to bring out any crackle that we have. And we'll do a close-up. So hopefully you can see it because we've got crackle right here that you wouldn't normally see. But the dark wax just gets down into that and makes it so delicious. There's some crackle right here that's now showing up. It's like, have you ever used invisible ink and then you put something on top of it and it shows the message? Dark wax over the top of clear wax, over the top of milk paint is like invisible ink. So there's crackle that wouldn't be noticeable without the dark wax. Always, always, always lay down your clear wax first. Otherwise, it's just going to look like a big poopy mess. All right, I think that looks good.
Except for yesterday. No, I clear waxed that yellow before I did the dark wax.
What?
That yellow shelf yesterday.
All right, let me see if I can zoom in.
You got a...
Oh, Cody. Shh. The people of YouTube do not want to hear you bark. You want to go outside? You want to go outside? Okay.
So I'll see if I can zoom in for you and show you the wax. It's going to be a little darker than it normally would because it's wet right now because that wax hasn't dried. Okay, there we go. It's picking that up a little bit.
So can they see the crackle? Because that's like the subtle. This is a very Gustavian finish. It's not like super.
I'm gonna bring it close.
It's not super textured, and because I sanded it with sandpaper, it smoothed down the peaks of that initial stipple, and so you're getting all the.
I can't lift it up anymore.
Oh, you can't lift it up. I did paint the bottom. I was very efficient. But anyways,
okay, we'll
the sanding, like if you could feel this, just trust me, it's like smooth. You can feel a little bit of texture, but it's really delicious. All right, there we go. Oh, you can see it.
There it is.
Look at that crack. Oh my gosh, the hackers are live on my Facebook page right now. Thanks, hackers. Nice.
All right, don't go watch them.
Yeah, don't watch them. Do not give them the benefit of that. All right, you guys, if you would do a huge favor to me, I don't like beg very often, but what I need you to do is when we're not live anymore, go back to this video, comment on it, give it a thumbs up, and hit the share button. And you can copy and paste this and you can share it into other social media and get the word out that our Facebook page has been hacked. And so if people want to watch us, that YouTube is really the only way, and we need them to watch us so our YouTube videos get out so that way people have access to them. So if you can do those 3 things, that's a super big help to us. And make sure that you are signed up for our email and our text, because we own those lists. So no matter what happens, we can get a hold of you, let you know where we're at, and continue with business as usual. We're going to get this finished. We will try to go live later today on YouTube and post it on YouTube with the live video showing it going into the shop. And we will also have a video up Friday for the mirror. I'll give you a little sneak peek. Should we give them a little sneak peek of what mirror we're working on?
I think we need to. It looks almost like this right now, so let's hold
Okay.
off. Hold
Just
off
know
from
that
the sneak
the
peek.
video on Friday is going to be good. We'll send an email out Friday when that goes live. And then we'll pre-record our Saturday thrift haul. And we're just going to do what we can do.
We're going to keep doing what we always
Keep
do.
on keeping
put
on.
our heads down and work harder.
All right. Love you guys. And we'll make sure that we're sharing things. The Jamie Ray Vintage Facebook group is ours. So we're going to use that for now because that's what we have access to. And we will see you next time. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Jamie Ray Vintage for more
DIY.
Bye, you guys.